So I get the feeling, unless you've been checking out the spoilers for this episode of Dragon Ball Super, you would not expect this twist coming. I expected an elimination from Universe 7, and technically speaking, by the end of this, we still don't know where Frieza is. And we start off, I guess, with 17 unleashing. He gets deflected very easily with the Hawkeye. 17 avoids it, then avoids it just as Flash. He tries to use rocks on the arena as cover, but Toppo's just using the energy of destruction to like blow his way through it. And that's where actually 17 gets the idea that the rocks could actually work against him. So he comes up with a clever plan, and 17, one of the best characters for Universe 7 in my opinion, and this episode illustrates that, and it shows why he has survived this long, because he uses Toppo's own power against him to use the rocks to actually land and topple over topping. When 17 was about to be eliminated, he was getting pelted with energy blast, a barrage of blast. Then Frieza comes in with his psychic abilities. We've seen this on Namek where he traps Toppo and then he uses the rocks to he actually nails 17, but 17's still in the tournament. That's where a lot of people thought he was going to get eliminated. No, he was still around. So Frieza surrounds Toppo with a bunch of rocks. Doesn't work. He uses Hawkeye to blow his way out of it. Then Toppo gives Frieza another ass whooping, and it becomes like a 2-on-1 where Frieza and 17 uses Energy Blast to like try and get some damage. Not working. That's where Toppo sees Vegeta and Goku fighting Jiren, and this is how the fight between Vegeta did not cut in. He didn't go to Toppo. Toppo actually came to Vegeta, and they actually come up with the idea to separate them two. And if you notice, Toppo illustrated two character traits in this episode we have not seen yet. One who's with frustration of, I guess, being pushed back by Goku and Vegeta's continuous attacks, and that's not good for Universe 7. So, that being said, we have Toppo versus Vegeta. Vegeta quickly discovers that he can't fight this guy head on. He tries to use Energy Blast. He actually comes up with a Final Flash, does nothing against Hawkeye. And then that's what Vegeta's like actually getting pushed back, and he's thinking about Kaba. His promise to actually survive this and use a Super Dragon Ball to wish them back. I kind of gotta wonder after this episode what Vegeta has left. Although if you look at the preview, there's a lot of inconsistencies, especially with what was stated in this episode. This is not the first time this has happened, so Vegeta decides, okay, he's gonna go all out, and we get a flashback to what he does with, I guess, with Majin Buu, and self-sacrifice himself, and indeed he was going for that in this episode, but plot twist, even though he blew himself up, and it was an energy struggle with the destruction from Toppo against Vegeta, who was looking to self-sacrifice himself yet again. And I love the moment before he does that, he actually thinks about Bulma, Trunks, and Bulla, as well as Kaba, so that was kind of cool. It should have happened when he in his power-up, but Vegeta wants to get powered himself up, and doing that, actually get an edge in this fight with landing some attacks. That was kind of cool. But Toppo was still overpowering Vegeta, to the point where Vegeta had no alternative but to use the explosion. It was going to take himself. We thought it was going to take himself out, but the plot twist: Toppo gets eliminated, and Vegeta goes back to base because he was somehow he was strong enough to withstand the blast. But he could, the way Beerus described himself, yeah, he was strong enough to survive the blast, even as a Super Saiyan Blue. Piccolo acknowledged that, by the way. So that was kind of cool. But at the same time, Beerus stated that he can't move a muscle. He's pretty much at his limit. And if you notice in the preview, he's going to Super Saiyan Blue. So I ask you again, where is the consistency? Because we've seen this with Goku and his stamina. So you got to say the same thing about Vegeta now, because how is he able to? And it's kind of ironic. Yeah, 4 minutes with the final 4 members of Universe 7 still in the total power. Not one elimination in this episode, which I thought was going to be. I still predict Frieza is in this tournament, even though he got wrecked. 17 survived from the rubble after Vegeta Toppo, and this is the biggest shock of the entire episode. Jiren and his attitude now takes a twist, and I think it's because a lot of people could be complaining that Jiren's personality has been completely boring, one-dimensional. We got a twist in this episode, like it or not, but because Jiren pretty much states, Toppo, what a disappointment. You became a god of destruction only to fuel Vegeta. So then he smiles and he starts to power up. So And if anything goes by the title of next week's episode, it looks like this is going to be the final curtain call for 17 because of the android barrier of hope. What else could I be alluding to? Frieza's obviously still in the tournament. It's not being acknowledged. I think Frieza's going to do something. Obviously, Frieza's still in the tournament, unless they acknowledge that. They didn't. Vegeta's in his base mode, but he's going Super Saiyan Blue 2. Goku, he got punched back by Jiren. Because Goku's like, yo, what are you talking? Why? How can you talk about Toppo like that? Back into base. So, and Jiren, it looks like he's finally going to unleash his 100% power, which makes sense because we only have 5 episodes left. After this episode 4 in Dragon Ball Super, and the thing that sucks the most is this ends on a high note after the way Super's been done throughout most of. If it ends on a high note, that's going to kill you even more because Super's ending, and we don't even know if there's going to be a continuation or not. So all in all, it was a decent episode. I love the twist with Jiren. I thought finally we got some more depth into his character, a lot more menacing. Like I said, that smile was a lot more sinister than I thought it should have been. So that really got me. So I appreciate that. Obviously, decent episode. Vegeta survives again. Plot convenience, you can say, but it is what it is. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did appreciate that. Subscribe, channel for more Dragon Ball Super. Catch you guys later.